They say wealth is hard to build, but the truth is it's even harder to keep. Look back at history. Great families who built empires, men and women who worked, who fought, who sacrificed, only for their riches to vanish in a single generation. Because here's the paradox: money can be made quickly, but generational wealth requires something deeper. It requires discipline, vision, a set of principles strong enough to survive temptation, inflation, and time itself. That's why you see dynasties in certain places. Why some families grow richer with each decade while others start over again and again. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's principles. And here's the uncomfortable truth: most people don't even know them. They chase income but ignore ownership. They spend faster than they invest. They pass down luxuries instead of knowledge. And so, wealth dies with them. But what if you could break that cycle? What if you could learn the same timeless rules the wealthy teach their children? Not the flashy tricks, not the lottery wins, but the real blueprint for freedom that lasts beyond your lifetime. In this video, we're diving into 15 wealth principles that create generational riches, principles that don't just make you rich, they keep your family rich, principles that turn money into freedom and freedom into legacy. If you're ready to think beyond yourself, to build not just income but a dynasty, stay with me, because this is the truth most people will never hear. 1. Discipline before dollars. Wealth doesn't start with money. It starts with behavior. Without discipline, money slips through your fingers no matter how much you make. That's why lottery winners go broke. That's why high-income earners drown in debt. Discipline is the foundation, the invisible fortress protecting wealth from destruction. Discipline means saying no to impulse. It means saving before you spend. It means setting rules and following them even when no one is watching, because the world will always tempt you. Luxury today, comfort today, but discipline whispers. Think of tomorrow. Generational wealth requires discipline across decades. Families that last teach their children restraint, self-control, and patience. They don't hand out money freely. They teach how to manage it. The truth is simple: you don't earn the right to wealth until you master discipline. Takeaway: money doesn't make you disciplined. Discipline makes you money and keeps it. 2. Ownership over wages. Wages make you a living, ownership makes you free. The wealthy understand this truth. No one builds generational riches by trading hours for dollars, because hours are limited. But ownership of businesses, land, equity creates wealth that grows even while you sleep. Think about it. Every billionaire you know, they don't rely on a paycheck, they rely on ownership. It's not about how hard they work, but how smart they place their stakes. Employees work, owners profit. That's the game. And if you want to escape the cycle of survival, you must start owning pieces of it, even if small, a few shares of stock, a side business, a property that pays rent. Ownership turns effort into legacy. Generational wealth is built on assets that outlive the original builder. Takeaway: stop chasing wages, start collecting ownership. That's how dynasties are born. 3. Cash flow is king. Riches on paper mean nothing if the cash stops flowing. You can have a mansion worth millions, a company valued at billions, but if you can't pay the bills, if you can't cover the basics, you are fragile. Many empires have collapsed this way. Beautiful on the outside, bankrupt within. The wealthy guard cash flow like oxygen because it is. Assets that produce income month after month are the true backbone of generational wealth. Rental properties, dividend stocks, businesses with steady customers. They don't just look at wealth, they look at liquidity. They want to know, can this keep paying us year after year without eating itself alive? This is why cash flow is king. Without it, you suffocate. With it, you thrive. Even in downturns, takeaway: assets that pay you today are what protect you tomorrow. Always build cash flow first. For money must multiply, money that stands still dies. Inflation eats it, expenses erode it. Time reduces its power. That's why the wealthy never let money sit idle. They put it to work. They make it multiply. Every dollar has a job. Some are soldiers, sent to the battlefield of investments. Others are workers, generating interest or dividends. Some build businesses, but none are allowed to sleep. Because sleeping money is dying money, the wealthy understand compounding. The quiet miracle that turns small seeds into forests. They don't rely on one income stream. They create multiple, each one feeding the next. This is how generational riches form, not from one lucky break, but from money multiplying across decades. Across generations, take away. If your money isn't working for you, it's working against you, multiply it or lose it. 5. Debt can build or destroy. Debt is a double-edged sword. For most, it's a trap. For the wealthy, it's a tool. The broke use debt to buy things that lose value. Cars, gadgets, fleeting pleasures. The rich use debt to buy things that pay them back. Real estate, businesses, scalable investments. Same instrument, opposite results. Generational wealth depends on teaching this distinction. Families that stay rich don't fear debt. They respect it. They know it can enslave, but also empower. They don't take on debt for luxury. They take it for leverage, because here's the truth. Money borrowed wisely can accelerate freedom. Money borrowed recklessly destroys it. Takeaway: debt doesn't decide your fate. Discipline does. Use it to build assets, not liabilities. 6. Protect the downside first. Everyone loves talking about upside. The big wins, the huge returns, the dream deals. But the wealthy think differently. Their first question isn't, how much can I make? It's, how much can I lose? Protecting the downside is why dynasties survive. They insure their assets. They diversify risk. They never gamble everything on one throw of the dice. They build buffers, emergency funds, reserves, hedges. Because wealth is fragile without protection. This principle separates the reckless from the resilient. You can't build generational riches on luck. You build it on risk management. Takeaway: always defend before you attack. Protect the downside, and the upside will take care of itself. 7. Live below, invest above. Flashy living destroys quiet wealth. Many who earn well fall into the trap of spending more as they make more. But the wealthy who endure live by a different code. They live below their means so they can invest above their means. Their houses might be big, but their portfolios are bigger. Their cars might be nice, but their investments are nicer. They care less about looking rich today, more about staying rich tomorrow. Generational wealth isn't built on consumption. It's built on restraint. It's the art of redirecting excess into growth. Every unnecessary dollar spent today is a future dollar stolen from tomorrow. Takeaway: don't just earn to spend, earn to invest. That's how wealth outlives you. 8. Teach. Don't just give. This is where most families fail. They pass down money without passing down wisdom, and what happens? The next generation spends without understanding. Wealth disappears in a storm of bad decisions. The wealthy who endure understand. Inheritance without education is a curse. That's why they don't just give. They teach. They explain cash flow, investing, discipline. They involve their children in decisions. They pass down mindset before money. Because money without knowledge is dangerous. But money with knowledge is power multiplied. Generational wealth isn't about writing checks. It's about writing principles into the family's DNA. Takeaway: don't leave behind riches alone. Leave behind the wisdom to protect them. 9. Turn skills into systems. A skill feeds one person, a system feeds generations. The wealthy understand this. They don't just work hard. They build frameworks that outlive their labor. A skill may die with you, but a system, a process, a business model, those can endure, scale, and compound. Think about it. A baker who knows how to make bread can feed a village today. But a baker who builds a bakery system feeds a city for decades. The difference: systems replace human effort with structure. Generational wealth thrives on automation. Systems ensure income flows even when you're no longer around. Takeaway: don't stop at skills. Transform them into systems that live longer than you do. 10. Diversify, but don't dilute. You've heard it before, don't put all your eggs in one basket, true? But here's the hidden danger: put your eggs in too many baskets, and you lose track of them all. Generational wealth requires balance. The rich diversify, but with intention. They spread risk without scattering focus. They own multiple income streams, but each is managed with discipline. They don't chase every shiny investment. They master a few, then expand carefully. Because dilution is just as dangerous as concentration. Wealth disappears when it's stretched thin. Takeaway: spread your wealth wide enough to protect it, but not so wide that you lose control of it. 11. Legacy over luxury. Luxury fades, legacy lasts. Too many fortunes are lost because families choose lifestyle over longevity. Mansions, cars, extravagant parties, these consume wealth but create nothing. Legacy, on the other hand, is built through investments, philanthropy, and values passed forward. The wealthy who last ask a different question: will this purchase end with me? Or will it serve those who come after me? That shift from luxury to legacy is what preserves riches. Because the truth is simple: no one remembers the car you drove, but they will remember the opportunities you created, the foundations you built, the lives you changed. Takeaway: choose legacy over luxury. What outlives you matters more than what entertains you. 12. Guard against inflation and decay. Money that sits still rots. Generational wealth isn't destroyed only by bad spending. It's also eroded quietly by time. Inflation eats purchasing power. Poor maintenance destroys assets. Decay is inevitable unless actively fought. That's why the rich don't just save, they invest. They put money in assets that grow faster than inflation. Stocks, real estate, businesses, they maintain their properties. They modernize their companies, they adapt to new markets. Wealth that isn't protected will always shrink. The question is, are you guarding your fortune or letting it decay in silence? Takeaway: don't just build wealth. Protect it against the silent killers of time and neglect. 13. Teach the next generation early. Wealth is not just numbers, it's knowledge. The greatest risk to generational riches is not the economy, but ignorance. Children who inherit money without financial literacy often lose it within years. The wealthy know this, that's why they train their heirs early. They teach budgeting, investing, responsibility, and vision long before handing them the keys. Think of it as a relay race. If you don't teach your child how to run, the baton will be dropped the moment you pass it. Takeaway: generational wealth demands generational wisdom. Teach early and the fortune will last. 14. Protect with structures. Money left unguarded is money waiting to be taken. Taxes, lawsuits, poor planning. These can drain a fortune faster than bad spending. That's why the wealthy use structures, trusts, foundations, corporations, and legal shields. These aren't just paperwork, they're armor. A trust ensures wealth passes smoothly to heirs. A foundation turns fortune into legacy. Corporations protect personal assets from business risks. The rich don't just create wealth, they build fortresses around it. Takeaway: if wealth is the castle, legal and financial structures are the walls that protect it. 15. Remember, wealth is stewardship. In the end, money is not owned, it's borrowed. Borrowed from time, borrowed from opportunity, borrowed from the future. The wealthiest families last because they see themselves as stewards, not consumers. They understand, this fortune is not just mine. It's entrusted to me to multiply, to protect, and to pass on. When you treat money as stewardship, you make wiser choices, you spend carefully, you invest with vision, you give generously, because you know it's not about you. It's about the generations yet to come. Takeaway: wealth isn't ownership, it's stewardship. Handle it with responsibility, and it will outlive you. These 15 principles are not just about becoming rich, they're about staying rich beyond your lifetime. Most people chase fast money, few think about generational wealth. But if you apply these rules, ownership over consumption, systems over skills, legacy over luxury, you'll create something far more powerful than income. You'll create an inheritance of freedom. So as you leave this video, ask yourself, am I building for today or for tomorrow? Because one day, your wealth will tell a story. The only question is, will it end with you or continue with those who come after you?